Left 4 Dead 2. This game, in my opinion, is the best zombies game ever made. And what's crazy is this game is still popular to this day. Just look up Left 4 Dead 2 on YouTube and you'll see some of the biggest gaming creators still playing it. In the last 24 hours, this game has peaked at 33,600 players, and keep in mind, this is only off of PC only, and this doesn't count people that are playing on the Xbox 360. This game came out in 2009 and is still holding out strong in 2025, which is not to be taken lightly. This begs the question, how does this 16-year-old game still have an active player base? Is there something about Left 4 Dead 2 that keeps it so relevant today? In this video, we'll answer both of these questions in order to figure out why Left 4 Dead 2 never died. If you've ever played this game, it is about as simple as it gets. You simply load up into a game and start a campaign run on whichever mission you want to do, and the game really just takes it from there. It gives you items that you need, such as medkits, weapons like pistols, melee weapons, and items such as pipe bombs and molotovs that will help you fend off the waves of zombies. And the levels themselves are very linear, so even for new players, it's easy to see where you need to go in order to progress through the level. Even your NPC teammates will guide you on what to do next if you ever get confused. And the game has a simple objective. You simply just battle zombies in order to progress to a safe house in order to get to the next level. The game itself also doesn't have any complex leveling systems, skill trees, or unlockable items that a lot of the modern games have, and the player base really does appreciate that. The game itself also has a wide range of weapons. If you like being up close and personal, then you can simply shred zombies with melee weapons. Do you like to one-shot infected? Try running around with an auto shotgun or a sniper rifle if you prefer distance. If you like assault rifles, you could choose between the SCAR, AK-47, and the M16. Basically, there is a weapon for every playstyle. Even when you play online with people, everyone is on the same playing field, the only difference being in the skill of each player. This game also has an emphasis on cooperation. The game itself is designed for players to stick together and work with each other, especially when battling a special infected, in which you would actually need a teammate in order to save you. The game itself is really good at changing enemy spawns to keep the game fresh and challenging. For example, the tank is the most formidable affected to go against, and there's usually only one that you need to battle in each mission of a campaign, and each time you load into a mission, the tank's spawn area will be different. Sometimes I've seen the tank spawn in right at the beginning of the level, and others I've seen it's very close to the end of the level. Left 4 Dead 2 uses an AI director, which spawns enemies and ammo depending on how well the survivors are doing. So if players are doing very well, the AI might spawn in more enemies, but it will also spawn in more ammo. And vice versa. If the survivors are struggling, the AI might lower the spawn rate of enemies and increase the spawn rate of health items. And after playing this game for years, I've definitely noticed that. I've noticed that the more I get hurt throughout the campaign, the more medkits and pain pills will spawn in. Another big thing this game does is that it warns survivors of incoming hordes and special infected through the visual and audio cues in-game, especially with the character dialogue where certain characters will point out that there's a certain infected nearby that you need to be watching out for. And on top of this, there is an option that you can enable called full captions, and it gives you prompts of enemy sounds, character dialogue, which helps out a ton. And once you get pretty decent at the game, you can always increase the difficulty, which adds more replayability to the game. And another great thing being that you can vote to change the difficulty of the game while still being in the mission. I honestly forgot how user-friendly this game is. Even if you're online, you can vote to kick players if they're being annoying or toxic, which helps out a ton. Campaign missions aren't the only great thing about this game. They have other game modes like Versus, Survival, Scavenge, Realism, and Mutations that make this game a lot more fun. The Versus game mode allows players to play as the special infected themselves in a 4v4 matchup with other online players. This game mode is super fun to play with friends, and on a personal note, Versus was actually my first ever online multiplayer experience. Survival mode is exactly as it sounds. You simply survive. The game gives you all the possible weapons and items in game, so you and your teammates can stock up and survive. I also loved this game mode back in the day too, because you could glitch out of the map and you can make it so you can basically survive an extremely long time. Some people even managed to survive for over 209 minutes, which is insane to think about because survival is just non-stop waves of infected and special infected. I can't imagine surviving for over 3 hours without doing any sort of glitches. That's insane. Scavenge was a game mode in which survivors had to collect gasoline cans around the map in order to add time to a clock, while the infected had to kill the survivors in order to make the timer run out. For players that wanted a more realistic experience in-game, they could play Realism, which got rid of survivor and item outlines, removed respawn closets, and had more durable common infected. And the last game mode is one of my absolute favorites, and it's Mutation. Mutation allows players to play campaign missions with some wacky changes, such as Tank Run, in which every infected, as you could guess, is a tank. There's also one very similar called Hunting Party, in which all of the infected are hunters, and that is absolutely terrifying. There's even weird mutations like Healing Gnome, in which the only way to heal yourself is by simply holding the gnome. So if you're playing with friends and you all need healing, you have to pass around the gnome like it's a blunt or something. This might be the best thing about this game. People are able to create maps and other mods that can be added and played by any number of players. The best part about modding Left 4 Dead 2 is that it's extremely simple. You simply just open up Steam, go to the Left 4 Dead 2 workshop, and look at all the mods and subscribe to the ones that you want to add in your game. Even better, if you have Left 4 Dead 2 loaded up and you're looking at mods, when you subscribe to them, it'll automatically update in real time, which is super convenient. And because of the game's popularity, there's a ton of mods, some that are extremely funny, like the Michael Jackson Hunter, which I still have to this day. It is hilarious. But on the flip side, they also have very well-designed, well-made maps, so even if you play through all the base game content, you still have more content that you can play through the Steam Workshop. Another great mod being the Gore mod, which makes everything more bloodier, which is just fantastic. When talking about Left 4 Dead 2, we have one user on Reddit saying, "The ease of picking it up remains a strong point of Left 4 Dead. No progression gating, no unlocks, no extra purchases or DLC confusion. Perhaps simple by modern standards, but the community, maps, and mods can expand the game significantly." And another user saying, "There's a lot of value to its simplicity. I think it's the type of game people like playing after coming home from a long day of work. They're not in a mood for a lot of thinking, they just want to blow off some steam and relax with some uncomplicated fun." I can't really express in words how much I love this game. It is just simply a classic zombie game, and it's a great game to play with your friends. It's super satisfying to play, and you could just turn off your brain and relax and just shred some zombies. And because of how old the game is, it can run on pretty much any computer unless it's actual utter garbage. Left 4 Dead 2 never died because it's simple. Simple gameplay, simple progression, simple objectives. It has extremely fun game modes like Mutation and Versus that add other gameplay elements to the game. The community creations that add so many more maps, characters, sound effects, and more that make the game so much more fun. It even has interesting lore with many messages written on walls inside safe houses that immerse players into the world of Left 4 Dead 2. Even though Left 4 Dead 2 is very simple, the skill ceiling is also really high. There are a bunch of highly skilled players that have deep knowledge of the game's mechanics and maps, as well as advanced techniques, especially in the Versus mode, that can make the game a lot more easy to pick up and play later on. And with these advanced mechanics comes speedrunning, and that's still very popular in the Left 4 Dead 2 community. Left 4 Dead 2 is currently on sale for $1.99, which is an absolute steal if for some reason you don't already own the game. Just buy it and thank me later. Personally, I don't think I'll ever stop playing this game. Me and my friends will still hop on and play until we die, probably. If you guys did find value in today's video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more videos like this in the future. There's some videos on the screen if you're interested in watching, and I will talk to you guys later.